Okay, I'm gonna prove that water is actually a metal. So so there's three things that everybody knows about water. Okay, let's use blue for water. Oh shit, that's way too big. So water is blue. Well, actually, everybody thinks water is blue, but actually that's a psyop. Water is actually kind of like a grayish, but it like reflects the sky, which is blue because the weird sun photons don't like blue, so they leave blue in the sky. The sky is weird though because it's like you don't see an end to it, but there's like an end to it, right? Like you got the earth down here and it's got trees and shit on it, and then you take the trees and then they grow from the sun, but the sun looks like it's like here, but in reality it's like way over here and it's really big. And then the moon is like somewhere around here. So so you got that. So that's why water's blue, but it's not actually blue. It's just like reflecting or whatever. But anyways, so there's two things that everybody knows about water. Everybody. I mean everybody. Water, if you cool it a lot, it turns into an ice cube. Like ice cube. And the ice cube kind of starts to melt a little bit because it's like I know I just established that water isn't actually blue, but I'm just gonna use blue as like a representative kind of thing. Um, so so the water, it's not actually blue, but it can go into ice, and then if you heat it up a whole lot, it turns into steam, right? Like the steam. What else do we know that turns into a solid when you make it cold and into a gas when you make it hot? That's right, guys. Mercury. Mercury is an element that is a is a is a liquid at room temperature, but it's also a metallic element, which means that it's like a metal, like copper, right? So the AI here says that Mercury freezes at that point, which is also that in degrees freedom, when cooled significantly. Okay. And then let's see mercury boiling. Mercury boils at that temperature, turns into a vapor, okay? What else do we know that you have to make it cold to freeze and it turns into a solid? Okay, we got the Hg. That's Mercury's atomic thing. It means Hagi, I don't know. I don't know what it actually means. But you got your Mercury, and the Mercury, it can freeze when you make it cold, but it turns into a gas when you make it hot. Just like water, which is not actually blue. It's gray. That's why steam is gray, because water's not blue. Because if water was actually blue, then the steam would be blue. But the steam is gray because the water's not actually blue and the steam doesn't reflect anything. And also, ice is not blue or cyan. Ice is kind of like a weird grayish thing, and any blues that it catches are just from like something behind it. And so the sun is not there, it's here. So the mercury, which is a metal, it freezes into a solid and boils into a gas, and you can use that to generate electricity if you really wanted to. For some reason, I bet you could probably burn like sulfur or magnesium to make that, and then it would be like clean energy, I guess, but not really though, because I can't imagine mercury is good for the environment. But so the water acts just like mercury, and also, can water act like a metal? Water can act like a metal under extreme conditions. Pure water is an electrical insulator, but it can be transformed into a metallic state by subjected to immense pressure. Okay, let's look at pressure. How is pressure measured? Oh fuck. You got vacuum sealed tube of mercury, the barometer. Let's check out the barometer. What does bar sound like? That's right, guys. Barium, which is a chemical element with the atomic number of 56. What else is 56? I don't know. Let's see. It's the number following 55 and 57. It's also United States Route 56. You didn't see that. See, gold, right here, gold. Do you know what else gold is? Gold. What? I don't want a golden toilet, I want the chemical element. What the fuck is this shit? Yeah. Gold. AU. What does alternate? What does AU stand for? Astronomical Union, or it can mean the African Union, or it can mean gold, derived from the Latin word aurum, which can also be alternate universe in the context of fan fiction, or angstrom unit, which is a unit of length. Remember this here, okay? Remember this. This is going to right back to the water theory, okay? So the angstrom unit starts with an A, right? Let's go back to see fan fiction, okay? What's fan fiction? Fan fiction can be hosted on a website called AO3, okay? Now, A on of itself is not a chemical element, but O is, and it often comes in pairs of 3, I do believe. Come in pairs of 3, not 4, 3. What? No, ozone. Ozone right there, okay, ozone, ozone. We got ozone. So the A there, it goes back to that angstrom unit, which we can relate back to water by, an acre foot is a unit of volume used for measuring large quantities of water, equal to the amount of water needed to cover 1 acre of land to a depth of 1 foot. What is a foot? Okay? It's a unit of length, just like the angstrom unit, which we could relate back to gold, because gold is chemical element, just like barium, which was the bar which we established. The bar comes from the barometer, which comes from mercury, which we established acted a lot like water. and it's because the barometer uses a vacuum sealed tube of mercury to measure atmospheric pressure. So the mercury is related to barium, which is related to gold, which is related to the AU, which can mean alternate universe and fan fiction, which is hosted on the website AO3, and the A starts with both, actually it starts with both the acre foot and the angstrom unit, and we know that the angstrom unit is a measurement of length, like it says here. It can also be which can also be an alternate universe in the context of fan fiction. So what I'm basically saying here is that AO3 is a cover-up website to hide the fact that water is actually a metal that acts a lot like mercury, because the government can't let you know that. They cannot let you know this, because if we find out that the most abundant compound on the planet is actually a metal, it would be their fucking end, because we would have access to so many weapons if we just figured out how to use water as a metal. Okay, so what does AO3 have to do with anything? Okay, like we established just right now, angstrom unit, alternate universe in the context of fanfiction. Fanfiction is hosted on AO3. Angstrom unit is a measurement of length which relates back to the acre foot, which is a unit for measuring large quantities of water equal to the amount of water needed to cover one acre of land to a depth of 1 foot. So you got all that right. AO3, the O3 here we established was the chemical equation for ozone, which goes back to the atmosphere we established, because what is our atmosphere called? The ozone layer, because there's ozone there, okay? Now, okay, let's bring up elephant in the room. To make steam out of water, the government is oftentimes burning coal, which we're just going to represent with this black rock here. This is burning coal. Now, what does coal do? Whenever you light coal on fire, okay, it makes fire, which heats up the water and turns it into steam, which then can spin a turbine to generate electricity. There's one massive issue with coal, though, is that it creates like these disgusting, horrible carbon dioxide gases that completely fuck up all of our shit. So, and we have better options. We have solar panels. We have the wind farms, the wind panels. We have heliostat tower thingies that like reflect the sun and melt the salt. Okay? So, who's to say that the government isn't pushing for more coal power to convert all of our water here that they know can be used as a metal, as we've established? And what did I just do? Oh, and then they're basically like doing this, and they're turning it into steam and using it in our power plants into cool machines and stuff with coal, because they want to simultaneously destroy our environment and destroy our water, because a lot of people don't talk about this, but carbon dioxide actually does get in the water, and it fucks up the water. That's why the coral reefs are dying and all the fish are dying, because the government wants you to burn your rocks. Okay? Legally mandated rock burning is what we are talking about. Okay? So, it goes back to the AO3. Let's write that down. AO3, or 3, is a chemical element that comprises of metallic water, A, and ozone, okay? Carbon is used in steel, okay? What you basically do is you take iron and you put it in like a canister of steel, or of carbon, which is what coal is. Normally they do pyrolysis or whatever to make the coal into coal coke, which is just like a purer form of hydrocarbon. But once they do that, they can powder it and turn it into steel. Okay, steel is a metal. As A here, we have defined A in AO3 as metallic water, okay? What they're doing here is fucking insane, and it's fucking crazy to me that nobody has ever brought this up before, because you got the metallic water and you got the ozone from the ozone layer, okay? They're burning our coal. They're burning the coal to turn it into steam, which has the coal in it, okay? And also this gas here is pretty much unrelated to this whole thing. This gas here is just because they want to kill us. Or no, it's not unrelated. It's related back to the water, because they're poisoning our water with the carbon dioxide to make it so that if we ever did learn the secret that water is actually a metallic compound, we wouldn't be able to use it, okay? We wouldn't be able to use it to rebel. I'm not calling for a rebellion here, but this is insane that nobody has caught on to this yet, okay? So, carbon dioxide, right, poisons the water so that we can't use it as a metal if we ever were to discover that, which I'm putting this out here. And by the way, guys, I'm not suicidal. I would never kill myself, okay? Never, ever in my entire life would I ever even dream of that. So if I die by 37 gunshots to the fucking chest, it wasn't me. You know who it was. It was Donald Trump and his administration, okay? They want to make it so that we cannot have the tools that we need to rebel in the case that it comes to that, okay? So the AO3, they're putting the metallic water into the ozone layer so that we can't reach it, because once the water has been turned into A as a metallic element or compound or whatever the fuck, it can no longer be used. Like it doesn't rain anymore. That stuff doesn't rain anymore, okay? And another thing about the ozone layer is that it doesn't have very much pressure at all. Once you get up there, the pressure is pretty much just like completely fucking gone. And it's So anyways, okay? Please open your eyes, people, okay? They're getting rid of our most abundant element for the sake of ensuring that the bourgeoisie has the ability and the control to prevent us from using the water to rebel, okay? Please open your eyes, and this video is satire.